I have a drinking problem. When I drink in excess. And most of you guys used to know me as the dude that stabbed people when they knifed them. And lately, over the last year, because I've been doing what's called drunk streaming, where I sit in front of the computer and people donate money for me to take shots, and I get stupid, and it's a show. Pretty much in the community, instead of being a chill dude that has a crazy outlook on life, that plays Call of Duty in a certain way and makes some chill commentaries and gun game reactions or whatever commentaries, interesting points of views, I'm not that anymore. I am known as a drunk.
There was a time when this man was one of the most unique creators on YouTube.
While everyone else was running around with assault rifles and quick-scoping montages, he made a name for himself doing the exact opposite, dominating in Call of Duty with nothing but a knife. No guns, no kill streaks, just blade, and the blade.
Oh, sit down. You sit down. And then I saw in the corner that the dude was over there out on the long scrappling thing. And
But what started as a fun gimmick soon spiraled into something a lot darker.
Because behind the gameplay, behind the laughs, behind the shot for donation streams, there was something eating away at him, and over the years, the funny drunk guy became less funny, and a lot more concerning.
From being a respected gaming icon to becoming a living, breathing cautionary tale streamed for the internet's entertainment, Blade's story is one of the wildest, saddest, and most disturbing downfalls in YouTube history.
And trust us, this rabbit hole goes deeper than you think.
This guy has done pretty horrible things, from making jokes and hitting his girlfriend during a live stream to animal abuse and much more. Buckle in tight, because this is the story of OnlyUseMeBlade.
For those of you who haven't had the misfortune of stumbling upon his wasted streams,
Brian Riso, born December 3rd, 1982, better known online as OnlyUseMeBlade, OUMB, or simply Blade, is an American live streamer and former YouTuber. He became popular due to his commentary in Call of Duty, and for only using the knife mechanic in such games, effectively handicapping himself against his opponents.
Blade's story on YouTube began back in 2009, during the heyday of Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare.
Like countless other gamers, he spent hours grinding through matches, chasing kill streaks, and perfect scores, but after a while, he found himself growing bored with the typical way of playing. The game had become routine, predictable, and that's when the idea struck. After some joking conversations with his friends, Blade decided to challenge himself by playing the entire game with nothing but a knife. And to his own surprise, and eventually the internet's, he discovered he was actually really good at it.
Determined to share his unique gameplay with the world, Blade picked up a Dazzle capture card, a piece of tech that, back in the late 2000s, was practically a rite of passage for any aspiring gaming creator. It was a simple but powerful tool that let him record his matches and start uploading them to YouTube. On top of that, Blade's timing couldn't have been better. In late 2009, Modern Warfare 2 launched, and the Call of Duty hype was at an all-time high. As his views grew, so did the opportunities. In late 2009, Blade's rising popularity caught the attention of Machinima, the YouTube network that, at the time, was the ultimate dream for any gaming content creator.
Getting signed to Machinima meant your videos could be featured on their main channel, blasting you out to millions of potential new fans. For Blade, it was the next level. His content found an even wider audience, and his subscriber count kept climbing.
Eventually, Blade's presence extended beyond his own channel. He became a regular guest on the early episodes of Painkiller Already, better known as PKA, one of the internet's most famous gaming podcasts. There, he joined forces with personalities like Russia, Woody's Gamertag, and Wings of Redemption, talking about gaming, life, and whatever else came to mind.
Hi, baby.
Go live!
There you go.
we kill that dog.
All right, we are live. We're live right now.
Hello, everyone.
In July of 2011, Blade's star continued to rise when he was invited to a high-profile Call of Duty Black Ops tournament organized by billionaire Alki David. This wasn't some random gaming event. It was held in Alki David's own mansion, with a $10,000 prize pool on the line. Big names from the YouTube scene were there. Freddie Wong, White Boy 7th Street, Woody's Gamertag, X-Jaws, and Wings of Redemption, among others.
For Blade, it was proof that he'd become more than just an internet gimmick. He was now part of the inner circle of gaming influencers, respected enough to stand alongside some of the biggest names on the platform.
By 2012, Blade and Keemstar, who as we know, would go on to become one of YouTube's most notorious figures, decided to launch their own podcast called The Bad Kid Show.
Together, they created a mix of gaming discussions, personal stories, and sometimes outlandish humor.
Hey Blade, say hello to my little friend.
Blade and Keemstar even dabbled in making prank videos, which were honestly quite questionable.
So, I got you some ice cream, cool? I got this game about a week ago from here, and when I opened it up, it was like all cracked and stuff.
Sure, you did get that from here. That's not out yet.
Well, I don't know, like I paid like $40 extra for like some early release.
In fact, Keem and Blade became such good friends that Blade moved all the way from Seattle, Washington to Buffalo, New York, so that he could be close to Keem. During this time, Blade also met his first serious girlfriend, a woman named Jill. The two supposedly crossed paths through mutual friends in Keemstar's social circle and started dating in 2014.
We don't know a lot about this first girlfriend, but we did find her in one of Blade's old streams.
No, God damn it, Rizzo. You made me get up and go get liquor.
Why am I the bad guy?
You made me get up and go get liquor so you can do drunk stream. I want to sit here and play. I want to hang out with your homies.
Good.
There's no music on the headphones.
I will update
There's
you.
nothing I can do.
I will update you. You promise. Stop it. I will promise you. I will update you.
Why can't you just like hook it up right now?
It appears that the two of them are arguing about Blade's drinking problem in this stream, which according to Blade himself has always been an issue. Although Blade started gaining infamy for his drinking habits around 2015, he admitted that he'd actually been drinking long before that, and had begun ramping it up as early as 2014.
At one point, his drinking got so out of control that it made him physically sick. Although Blade said he'd struggled with alcohol earlier in life, he claimed he used to handle it better and only drank occasionally.
Well, here's the thing. So, like, as you guys may know, like, I've tried to lead a healthier lifestyle. I'm not smoking. But Keem's here, and we got some kind of big news we'll talk about. But we're going to do some drinking tonight, so...
Drinking once in a while is okay. It's not going to kill you.
You know what? I have a feeling that's going to be awesome just because I'm not doing it like every other day. You know what I mean? So I feel, guys, I do feel 10 times healthier than probably the last time I was on.
Another interesting piece of Blade's story is that back in 2010, he actually held a regular job. He ran a business installing home theater systems in people's houses during the day and worked as a bouncer at a local bar at night. Eventually, though, he decided to quit his job to focus entirely on his growing YouTube career.
Anyways, back to the topic. Blade's Keemstar era was fairly good for his career. He had a consistent friend. He was making content and trying new things with Keemstar, for instance, documenting their grocery store visits.
Looks so good.
It does look good. Snooki would approve. Such a bad kid.
Such a bad kid.
Tell it.
Dude. Car skills.
Honestly, it's almost surreal watching these grown men act like absolute children, as if knocking things off grocery store shelves or causing chaos in public is the height of comedy. It's both pathetic and bizarre. Seeing adults who should know better turn juvenile antics into content, convinced that the more outrageous they act, the more views they'll score.
But even as Blade explored new creative ventures, the landscape around him was shifting. In the early 2010s, Minecraft exploded onto YouTube, completely changing the platform's ecosystem. Creators who once built their fame on Call of Duty suddenly pivoted to blocky worlds, chasing the massive audiences that Minecraft was attracting. While many of Blade's peers diversified or reinvented themselves, Blade largely stayed focused on Call of Duty. As the years rolled on, the once dominant franchise began to decline in viewership on YouTube, and Blade's channel started to lose momentum. The massive numbers of the Machinima days faded. His audience was still there, but it wasn't growing the way it used to.
So he tried to branch out here and there, like his unexpected participation in dance-on competitions in 2012, a move that probably surprised even his most loyal fans.
My name is Brian. My YouTube channel is called OnlyUseMeBlade, and I'm from Seattle, Washington. OnlyUseMeBlade came up from me wanting to make a knife-only account on the PlayStation Network, and it just sounded like something Jack Sparrow would say. OnlyUseMeBlade! And it just stuck ever since. The reason why I want to do the show is just to kind of show the world that, you know, the stereotypical gamer can actually go out, be active, and dance, and do something besides just being a basement dweller. Also, the money wouldn't hurt either. The things that I think I'm going to excel at when it comes to the competition is my natural rhythm and my moves, my upper body strength, because I'm going to be tossing some girls in the air, I assume, and overall just my hand-eye coordination. All these annoying skinny people that naturally have dance talent, we hate them.
According to Blade, he participated in this competition because he wanted to prove that stereotypical gamers weren't just people who stayed locked inside playing video games all day. He wanted to show that gamers could also go out, socialize, and even dance.
However, even after trying, the core of his identity remained tied to Call of Duty and his knife-only persona. Slowly, the unstoppable rise of OnlyUseMeBlade began to plateau.
And it was around this time that something else started creeping into his content, a quiet but growing presence that would eventually define the rest of his career: alcohol.
Donate for shots. Let's get it. Let's get it. Donate for shots. You better donate for motherfucking shots. I got the jack. I got the love.
It was in 2014 that Blade began doing what would eventually define the rest of his online career: drunk IRL streams. In these streams, viewers could donate money specifically to make him take shots of alcohol, essentially turning his self-destruction into entertainment.
People were tuning in not just for laughs, but disturbingly, to watch him spiral closer and closer to physical collapse. Blade was mostly pathetic and completely wasted on camera during these streams, slurring his words, shouting racial slurs, acting bizarre, and sometimes doing things that would straight up make you throw up.
Nudes! Nude hut! Nude hut. Hey y'all! Down a fire.
Throughout 2017 and 2018, not much changed. He remained stuck in the same loop, streaming while perpetually drunk and getting progressively messier. We're not going to list every single insane and disgusting moment from Blade during this era, because honestly, we'd be here forever if we did. But we are going to talk about some of the major incidents to give you a clear picture of just who Blade had become.
Not long after his breakup with Jill, in the summer of 2015, Blade became embroiled in his first major drunk controversy, an incident that would mark the beginning of his most notorious era.
At the time, Blade had been talking online to a blonde woman for several months, but one night during a live stream, things took a disastrous turn. Severely intoxicated, Blade started grilling the woman with awkward, loaded questions about her views on gay people and whether she liked black people. And when she said she loves black people, he called her a noble-haired lover and left the room.
What is your feelings on global appropriation?
I don't know what the that is, and I don't know what I don't even know what you're saying.
What I'm saying though, Steph Jade, is what is your stance on black people?
What? I love black people.
I love her.
Huh, and you go and say that word. Amazing.
Moments later, Blade stumbled back on camera looking disoriented and enraged. In a sudden, violent movement, he fell forward and slammed into his bed frame.
This N-word.
Keemstar, along with a few of Blade's other friends, urgently joined the stream, trying to calm him down and salvage what was left of the situation.
Who are you?
Blade, you need to end the stream, like, right now, dude. I know that sounds...
You need to end your faggot ass mouth.
Despite how extreme and just downright weird the moment was, some creators, including Wings of Redemption, spoke up afterward, expressing concern rather than condemnation. They said they hoped Blade would get help and recover, recognizing that his behavior was driven by deepening alcoholism rather than sheer malice alone.
In the days that followed, Blade released a video titled, "I Need to Stop Drinking," looking pale, remorseful, and almost embarrassed. He admitted that alcohol had become a serious problem in his life and promised his audience that he intended to make changes.
And most of you guys used to know me as the dude that had people when they knifed him. And lately, over the last year, because I've been doing what's called drunk streaming, where I sit in front of the computer and people donate money for me to take shots and I get stupid and it's a show. Pretty much in the community, instead of being a chill dude that has a crazy outlook on life, that plays Call of Duty in a certain way and makes Sunday show commentaries and gun game reactions or whatever commentaries, interesting points of views, I'm not that anymore. I am known as a drunk.
For a brief moment, it seemed like he might actually turn things around.
Determined to get a fresh start, Blade decided to leave his old surroundings behind. He moved to the Midwest, settling in an area surrounded by nature, hiking trails, and scenic views. He talked about wanting to focus on sightseeing and outdoor adventures instead of sitting around drunk and streaming. Keemstar stayed involved during this period, offering Blade support and encouragement as he tried to sober up.
And for a little while, it worked. Blade managed to stay off alcohol for a decent stretch, and he returned to what he did best, making gaming content. In late 2015 and into 2016, he uploaded new Call of Duty videos. Riding the hype around the release of Black Ops 3, fans were cautiously optimistic, hoping the old Blade might be coming back, the laid-back funny guy with impressive knife-only gameplay.
However, things could never be good with Blade. By the end of 2016, Blade had relapsed, slipping back into heavy drinking and the same troubling patterns that would only escalate in the years to come.
In 2019, Blade's life spiraled even further out of control, with several major controversies hitting all at once. That year saw him getting involved with Ice Poseidon's CX network, where his drinking and chaotic behavior only grew worse. Around the same time, serious allegations surfaced against him, adding to the firestorm. He even ended up being interviewed by Chris Hansen, known for To Catch a Predator, which only intensified public scrutiny.
We are going to break down each of these incidents one by one, starting with his time with the S network. If you are not already aware, the S network was started by Paul Ice Poseidon Dentine.
It consisted of a group of IRL streamers known for chaotic, often outrageous content that blurred the line between entertainment and complete disaster. This community was notorious for pushing boundaries, encouraging wild antics, and sometimes feeding off the personal meltdowns of their streamers. For Blade, whose drinking was already spiraling out of control, it was the worst possible environment, and the perfect one for internet viewers craving spectacle.
Blade's debut with the CS network was a disaster practically from the first night. During one of his initial streams after joining the group, he got so drunk that he pissed himself on camera. Yes, you heard that right.
You sleep on a couch cushion on the floor.
Walk away, ma'am.
I swear to God, you pissed on my jacket.
Did you just pee?
He pissed on my jacket. I swear to God, you pissed on my jacket.
No way.
Oh my God.
Hey, I love you
No,
so
get
much.
up. I swear to God, the
I swear to God. Wow.
Butlers, can you please get Blade up?
Ma'am.
Just smell this senorita to see if it
As Blade continued to stream with Ice Poseidon's crew, his drinking only escalated. He was constantly downing alcohol on camera, slurring his words, and stumbling around to the point that other streamers, and even his fans, began worrying for his health. Things got so bad at one point that Keemstar was called in to help. Keem flew out to where Blade was staying, trying to talk sense into him and pull him back from the brink.
Blade, we care about you. We actually do. I mean, I think you're cool. That's why I invited you to come here. I think you're f***ing awesome. But, dude, the f***ing drinking is... I mean, I don't think the drinking's, like, bad. But it's how you are when you're drunk. That's really bad. I mean, you've seen streams of yourself when you're wasted, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
When I drink too much. I get too up. I'm aware of it. I've cut back. Like, I didn't drink all last week. I just kept it the weekends.
I mean, I care about you, and I want you to get fucking, you know, whatever you want for your stream. If you want to get drunk, like, I don't really care. But I don't know. If you can't control yourself, then you should find something else.
Okay.
While with this network, Blade also experimented with mushrooms, leading to a rare moment of vulnerability. Under the influence, he ended up having a deep, emotional, heart-to-heart conversation with Keemstar. In that conversation, Blade opened up about how badly his life had gone off the rails, admitting how much he wanted to change, and promising he'd do better.
And when I brought you out with Overt, you had to quit drinking, you had to go to the fucking gym, you had to do all these workouts, you had to stop eating junk food, and you did it all. So it's not a matter of you're a weak person, you're a strong person, you have just chosen dumb. So I know you can fucking do this, and I know this is a turning point, and I believe in it, and I hope you believe in it too, and I'm fucking happy for you.
Oh man, I appreciate it, brother. I'm gonna start loving myself a little bit more because everyone that I come across seems to have nothing but love for me, dude. I'm gonna start fucking loving myself a little bit more.
And taking care of yourself?
Got it right.
But at this point, we all know that whatever Blade promises or says he will do is nothing but a bunch of...
Also, if there's one thing you should know about Blade, it's that he's always been notorious for having no regard for sensitive topics and showing blatant disrespect toward women. Over the years, he developed a reputation for crossing lines that most people wouldn't dare approach, often making offensive jokes and slurs without a second thought. Even worse, Blade became infamously known for trying to women on live streams, sometimes drunkenly reaching for them or making them visibly uncomfortable on camera.
Here, sit down, Blake. Here, why are you all wet?
Sit on my, no, get up, Blake, get up. You're on my coat. I don't want to get vomit on my coat.
So Blade, how much have you had to drink today?
I had enough. Hey, Grandma, come on.
You just groped?
You had to yell like that.
Dude, you just groped her, dude.
And if this isn't creepy enough, we have more for you. Sometime between late 2018 and early 2019, Ice Poseidon and members of this network were invited to Blade's house for an overnight party, a gathering that quickly spiraled into yet another weird incident in Blade's story. During the party, Blade repeatedly tried to Michael Aiden's girlfriend, making everyone around them visibly uncomfortable. At one point, he bizarrely claimed he was the best chiropractor in the world, and asked her outright if she wanted to have sex with him.
What, I'm sick.
How you doing?
Good stuff.
Yeah?
Oh, I did a couple. I didn't hit all of them. Yeah.
This is definitely not easy.
I'm sorry. I can't really hit that. I'm sorry.
This is like really tough.
Isn't that a good feeling?
Okay, throw me. Ready, sick. Holy this was good.
That's what I'm talking about. Some of that cunt. That's K-pop's girlfriend. Hey, K-pop. Cop. Alright, well, you got turned up. Shut the f up. I swear to God. Hey, what's up with that squirt there, Rainbow?
Annoyed by the rejection, Blade lashed out by hurling insults at Michael, calling him poor and mocking him for being a lousy streamer.
However, if you think this is the lowest this guy can get, you are mistaken, because what we are going to talk about next will genuinely leave you horrified.
By the time Blade joined this network, one of the wildest formats in IRL streaming was the so-called RV streams. The idea was simple but chaotic. A group of streamers would rent an RV and hit the road together, broadcasting their adventures live 24/7. These trips became notorious for non-stop drama, fueled by cramped quarters, heavy drinking, clashes of personality, and the ever-present pressure to keep viewers entertained. Each RV trip was numbered, RV1, RV2, and so on, and as the series went on, they grew increasingly unhinged. By the time RV6 rolled around, the streams had a reputation for being pure internet train wrecks, where anything could happen, and often did.
While streaming on RV6, Blade was one of the streamers along for the ride, and what happened there became one of the most disturbing moments in his already controversial history.
On this particular night, all of the members on board were pretty drunk, including Blade's fellow streamer, Goocheese. When the night got late, Goocheese called it off and went to sleep in one of the back rooms. Blade saw this as an opportunity and suggested to his fellow streamers, Bjorn and Bone Clinks, that he should go have sex with the now passed out Goocheese.
Horrifyingly, the entire interaction was caught on stream.
You gotta go have Goocheese real quick?
Thankfully, his fellow streamer went into the room and convinced him to come out of the room before anything could have happened.
She's sleeping. She's sleeping. I don't like it. Stop. We just want to see if she's okay.
Okay. He's joking.
However, Blade went back into the room twice until he was pulled out of the room last time with his clothes off, wearing a boxer, and covering himself with a towel.
After this incident, there were immediate concerns and allegations from people around the scene that Blade may have or raped her while the cameras were off.
Goocheese herself confirmed that Blade her.
He didn't me, but he definitely, like...
We also found this video of Goocheese explaining why Blade was never charged.
It's like seriously, you're like, I didn't proceed with it. Like, what are you, like, he didn't get charged because I didn't proceed with it. You want to keep telling people that, like, oh, if he would have gotten charged if it actually happened. No, like, you don't know the system, dude. You don't know the system at all. It was difficult. It was really difficult. And then to think that, like, he never got charged just because, like, it didn't happen. No, it actually did happen. I just didn't charge him. Like, what the f***? I hate Bjorn. I hate Bjorn and I hate Blade.
The most absurd thing about this entire incident is that Blade was never arrested or charged for what happened. To this day, nobody knows exactly what evidence he might have shown the police or what Goocheese told the authorities. Maybe she decided not to press charges, or maybe the police just didn't care enough to get involved with a group of drunken, wasted streamers causing chaos on the road. Either way, it's shocking that something so serious could unfold live on stream and still end without any legal consequences for Blade.
However, even after the RV6 incident, arguably the darkest moment of his streaming career, Blade remained shockingly unbothered. Instead of showing remorse, self-reflection, or even acknowledging the severity of what had happened, Blade took to Reddit and made a post that only worsened the situation. Rather than apologizing or clarifying his actions, the post came off as smug, dismissive, and detached from reality.
He said, "I voluntarily went to the police. Showed them multiple clips of the situation and to clear my name. I am not on RV, I am with Bjorn, heading to Kansas City, no charges, let's get back to streams, no drama. Also gotta get new phone and set stream elements since Streamlabs is wrongfully banned."
I hope that she did call the cops, and then they could take any DNA or whatever from me.
They are doing that, I hope.
Good.
I think
That'll
so.
fucking clear my stuff, dude. I'm tired of
Yeah,
it.
they are doing that. They also took all the sheets and all your clothes.
Took all my clothes?
Yes, all your clothes and towels. You have to buy new clothes.
I have to buy
Because they want to look for DNA.
my DNA on my clothes?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna take the DNA from my clothes to...
Yeah.
Okay. Great, same clothes for a couple days.
Yeah, you have to... Oh, you have clothes on, yeah.
So, according to Blade, he insisted that he'd done nothing wrong during the RV6 incident and even claimed he wanted the police to take his DNA so he could clear his name. But his words and actions painted a very different and far more disturbing picture.
Around July 2019, Blade went on a vile rant during one of his streams, which was later re-uploaded after the Goocheese incident resurfaced in late August. In that rant, he spewed some of the most horrifying views imaginable, saying that women should be grateful if they were raped, and suggesting that all Me Too victims should feel lucky that any man found them attractive enough to abuse.
I just have a lot of love to give. So if some random ugly whore bitch gets, she gets, accept it. You should be fucking welcome, whore. You should be fucking welcome, whore. Seriously, you should be fucking honored that I would ever grope you, you stupid. Figure it the out, dude. Like, come on, dude. All these fucking Me Too victims, you You should be honored to be groped by me. You should send me Christmas cards. Seriously, dude.
Yes, he actually said that. Honestly, at this point, we are just surprised that this guy hasn't been arrested and charged yet.
This kind of behavior confirmed that Blade wasn't simply a troubled man struggling with alcohol. He held deeply repugnant views that made his continued presence in the streaming world not just controversial, but genuinely dangerous. It was, frankly, as disgusting as it gets.
However, the fallout from the Goocheese incident and Blade's vile rant didn't just stay within the streaming world. It eventually brought him face to face with Chris Hansen, the former television journalist best known for To Catch a Predator.
Hansen had built a reputation on confronting individuals accused of serious misconduct, particularly those preying on vulnerable people. In recent years, he shifted his focus to internet personalities caught up in controversy, and Blade's name was now among them.
When Blade appeared on Hansen's show, many expected a moment of reckoning, but instead of showing remorse or acknowledging what viewers had already seen with their own eyes, Blade sat there and denied everything. He claimed he had only gone into Goocheese's room because he wanted to sleep, nothing more. He dismissed the incident as a misunderstanding, suggesting that the entire situation had been exaggerated.
What's your side of the story here? What happened in that RV?
So we had been streaming all day. We had picked up Goocheese, or she had met us in, I believe, San Francisco. We went out to bars. I had a couple drinks. Truth be told, I am a drinker. I'm actually, unfortunately, known on the internet for getting really, really drunk for donations, for views, or whatever, and sometimes doing things, stupid things, when I'm in a drunk stupor. But this day, I really didn't drink that much because Goocheese was performing karaoke. She was being pretty ridiculous. She was really, really, really drunk. I think it was nervousness. We went back on the RV, and while we were back on the RV, she was really aggressive towards everyone on the RV. My friend Bone Clinks, my friend Bjorn. She was really into Bjorn, and there's actually clips of her basically like constantly jumping on top of Bjorn and trying to like make out with him and stuff like that. She tried to pull me into the RV's bathroom for, I don't know what she was trying to do, but I really wasn't trying to be back in the bathroom with her, especially on stream, and I really wasn't interested in her. And so she finally went to the back with Bjorn. I don't know what exactly happened there. Both of them had been drinking pretty heavily. But then Bjorn came back up to the front. We were up there for a while. And then as a joke, I admit saying this is all on stream, I was like, hey, should I go back there and have there? It was clearly a joke. Bjorn went along with the joke, and I was just tired. All I wanted to do was get some sleep. That's a big bed. If you face from the RV looking at the bed, Goocheese is on the left in a blanket. I gather a blanket, and I proceed to go to sleep, or at least attempt to go to sleep.
Did you or inappropriately touch Goocheese, Jessica?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did not touch her in that bed at all.
Now, when you are at the helm there in the RV, you say, I'm going to, after you talk about having sex with Goocheese, whether you're joking or not, you say, I'm going to go pee. Almost like you're making an excuse to go back there and do what you said you were going to do. How do you explain that?
I mean, honestly, I had to urinate before I went to go sleep. That's honestly what that is. If you watch the tape, you see me go into the bathroom for like probably less than 30 seconds and then come out, and then I go back to the bed to sleep. Now, as I'm doing this, obviously, Bjorn, who I believe it was my chat that he had my little selfie stick set up with the phone and everything. The chat's like, go back and check. And then when he goes back and checks on me, I'm literally attempting to sleep. I think I was back to back with Goocheese. There's video and clips of that. And I literally was just trying to sleep. And then I came out because like I could hear Bjorn talking about he's not doing anything wrong. And I think I went to go talk to him, but then I went back and tried to go back to sleep.
We mean the fact that Blade is even trying to explain and justify this situation by claiming he said those things to Bjorn as a joke is completely messed up on its own. Why would anyone in their right mind ever joke about sleeping with a passed out woman? Even if you're drunk out of your mind, that doesn't excuse it, and it certainly doesn't explain it away. The truth is, being drunk doesn't make you do things you'd never think of sober. It just amplifies what's already inside you, and that's the scariest part of all.
Eventually, Chris Hansen confronted Blade directly, asking him why he came out of the room without his shorts on. Blade's response was evasive and shallow. This is what he had to say.
Now, other people question, true YouTubers who have gone over this video over and over and over again, why you were complaining at one point of being cold, yet you walk out of that back room without your shorts on. How do you explain that?
So oftentimes, like when people, especially with the RV cams and the 24/7 cams, a lot of times when I drink in excess, which I didn't do this night, but a lot of times when I drink in excess, I just fall where I fall, sleep on the ground, sleep on a sofa with full clothes. But when I actually like prepare to go to bed, I don't like sleeping with a belt around my shorts and all that other stuff. So I usually take my pants off and take my shirt off and just sleep in my underwear. So that's what I was doing. I was trying to cover up, even though we were in a hot state. We were driving at night and the wind blowing. I was freezing, but I don't really sleep in my clothes when I try to sleep comfortably.
But the footage from the RV6 stream told a different story. Blade's demeanor and actions made his intentions seem far from innocent, and Goocheese's discomfort was obvious. Thus his explanation on Hansen's show didn't line up with what had actually been caught on camera. For many, it was yet another infuriating display of Blade refusing to take responsibility, doubling down on denial instead of confronting the harm he had caused.
But just when you think Blade couldn't possibly sink any lower, or that he'd completely lost all sense of right and wrong, he did something else that solidified how deranged and genuinely dangerous he had become.
In April in 2019, Blade streamed himself in a moment that horrified viewers. He recorded himself throwing a dog.
And yes, it was exactly as awful as it sounds. In the clip, Blade picked up a small dog and, with no warning, hurled it across the room. Viewers watching the stream were outraged, flooding social media with condemnation and calling for Blade to face consequences for animal cruelty.
We don't even understand why someone who'd do such a thing for seemingly no reason at all. The dog was literally licking his face and showing affection.
And even in a community where shocking behavior sometimes blurred the lines of entertainment, this incident was seen as utterly indefensible. It was further proof that Blade wasn't just spiraling. He was crossing into actions that could seriously harm innocent beings, human or otherwise.
It was also after the dog incident when Keemstar officially disowned Blade as a friend. He made a post on Twitter saying, "I got Blade to stop drinking 3 times. 2 of those times he was sober for more than 30 days. I spent my own time and money to help him. Each time he went back to drinking. I disowned him when he threw the dog months ago. I gave up. Jesus, take the wheel."
All in all, Blade simply wasn't ready to help himself, no matter how many chances he was given. People around him, friends, fellow streamers, even fans, grew exhausted from constantly babysitting him or trying to steer him onto the right path. No matter how many interventions or fresh starts he was offered, Blade kept choosing the same self-destructive road, leaving everyone who once cared about him feeling burned out and ultimately done trying to save him.
However, while all of this was happening, Blade's physical health was also swiftly declining due to his excessive alcohol consumption and bad lifestyle.
By mid to late 2018, Blade's health had deteriorated dramatically, so much so that he struggled to walk or even lie down properly, plagued by severe muscle pain from years of excessive drinking.
I love you, baby.
I love you too, but you're ridiculous to me.
I don't care about the...
I care. You can't even get up.
I want to sit up.
Yeah, sit up. Do some sit-ups. Let's go. Babe, come on.
Hey! Thank you, dude. No cam? All right. I appreciate it, homie. Whoa, Blade!
He developed what viewers described as holes in his legs, due to a condition linked to diabetic necrosis, worsened by uncontrolled blood sugar levels that soared well into the 300s. On Reddit, one user noted that his glucose levels were at like 310, well into uncontrolled diabetes level, while another remarked that he had holes in their legs at 40 years old, and was literally rotting away in front of the internet.
To make matters worse, Blade also suffered from severe alcoholic myopathy, a condition in which chronic alcohol abuse causes muscle weakness, atrophy, and pain. At one point, he developed a buildup of 3 liters of fluid in his leg, fluid that required medical drainage.
These health crises were more than just alarming. They showed a man whose body was rebelling violently against his addiction. Despite this, Blade continued to stream, and his audience continued to fuel his inevitable end at the hands of alcohol abuse.
However, little did anyone know that his addiction was about to get 100 times worse.
During his time in the IP2 streaming scene, Blade became a regular presence among a rotating cast of IRL streamers, many of whom were infamous for chaos, trolling, and outright cruelty. Here was Blade, a man in his 40s, hanging out on RV trips, trying to keep his streaming career alive, but essentially becoming the group's punching bag.
Dude, come on, dude. Beck, dude, come on, dude. Casey, what the dude? I'm on, dude. I'm on, I'm in, okay? Stop. Off, dude. Okay? Come on, dude. Stop, dude.
He was relentlessly bullied and mocked, often targeted for being older, perpetually drunk, and physically falling apart. Other streamers and hangers-on would harass him while he was trying to sleep, blasting loud noises in his ear, taunting him, or shining lights in his face. Sometimes, they'd paint his face or body while he was passed out, all while laughing at his expense and broadcasting it live to thousands of viewers.
I know, brother. I hope you die.
White face, that's white face. Andy. Goes, gang.
Let's go do it, dude.
Let's go, dude.
God damn. You were stupid.
Did I do this with milk?
Remember? Hurry up! Dive faster.
Speed it up.
Speed it up, dude.
Alright.
MLP. There you go.
Wait.
Wow.
Honestly, it was a spectacle that to some viewers was darkly comedic, but also deeply sad.
Blade seemed painfully aware of how far he'd fallen. He knew this abuse was part of the price he had to pay if he wanted to keep making a living through streaming. He tolerated being the butt of every joke because, in his mind, there simply wasn't another option left.
And in any other story, viewers might have felt sorry for him, a washed-up creator, humiliated and used for content. But any sympathy was quickly stripped away because of the things Blade himself had done and said. His racism, allegations, and outright cruelty made it impossible for many to feel bad for him, no matter how pitiful he looked being bullied on stream.
But then, in November 2021, Blade's world was rocked by the biggest bombshell yet. His original YouTube account, OnlyUseMeBlade, was permanently terminated by YouTube. After years of skating despite controversy after controversy, the platform finally drew the line, effectively sending a clear message that they wanted nothing to do with him anymore.
For Blade, it was the end of an era, the final nail in the coffin for the gaming channel that had once made him famous. With nowhere else to go, he fully pivoted into the IRL streaming world full-time, where his content became little more than sitting in front of a camera and drinking copious amounts of Jägermeister and spiraling deeper into self-destruction. It was the official start of Blade's final bleak chapter, a man who had lost everything except the bottle and the few viewers still willing to watch him drink himself into oblivion.
OnlyUseMeBlade is live streaming me right now after seeing this video, sponsored by Jägermeister. I'm going to do an unboxing, and then I'm going to do this trick where slowly throughout the night, I'm actually going to empty the contents of this.
However, Blade wasn't done trying to reinvent his content, even if it meant dragging someone else along for the ride. In his latest chapter, he began floating ideas about buying his own RV and taking his drunken streams on the road, this time with his girlfriend Beck, by his side.
Beck has been one of the few constant figures in Blade's recent life, standing beside him through his relentless drinking, legal troubles, and collapsing health. Blade and Beck reportedly started dating sometime around 2018 or early 2019, though it's hard to pinpoint the exact beginning because much of their relationship blurred into his chaotic streams.
Their relationship has been anything but stable. On stream, viewers have witnessed Blade being toward Beck, and there's one particularly disturbing incident where he hit her live on camera.
Look at me. No, 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 no. No, 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 that. No.
Shut the f*** up. What the f*** up?
Ow. Dude!
Honestly speaking, it's deeply unsettling and traumatizing to watch him lash out at her so violently. Beck even addressed it, if you can call it that.
Blade hurt you twice in 2 weeks. And I've never called my girl a That's strange. IRL or DeMarco Lego.
It is strange. I've never, ever experienced that in my life.
There is another video that we found looking heartbroken and defeated, speaking quietly about realizing the mistakes she'd made in her life, all while Blade lay passed out in the background.
Beck, you are a weirdo, but you live with trauma and have a good soul. You don't deserve the life you live. Redeem yourself while you can. Please. And go to sleep.
That is a real dono. Real as yep.
Honestly, this whole thing is extremely depressing. These people are just wasting their lives, their bodies, and their health. And the saddest part is that they are too deep in it to think about getting themselves out.
But then came a moment that lives rent-free in the minds of anyone even remotely familiar with the IP2 scene, a crossover event so chaotic and absurd it felt like bad fan fiction. During a stream, Blade's RV and the newer RV7 somehow ended up in the same place. RV7, for context, featured streamers like Chicken Andy and, in a truly shocking twist, Goocheese herself. Yes, Goocheese, the same woman at the center of the horrifying RV6 incident with Blade, was now back on a live stream in the same physical space as him. The tension was already thick, but things took a turn for the insane when Blade's girlfriend Beck was caught on camera, cheating on Blade with Chicken Andy, live on stream.
Sunflower, blossom, kiss mark, love letter.
What's going on?
Chill the f out.
Stop. What's happening?
We're trying to sleep, dude. Off.
Like, literally.
What is going on?
We're going home, dude. Beck.
When Blade finally realized what was happening, things exploded into a heated, aggressive confrontation between him and Chicken Andy. Viewers watched in real time as the years of drama, dysfunction, and pent-up chaos all collided in one of the most unhinged live stream ever broadcast.
Hey, where's Beck at? Don't worry about Beck. She's getting it. She's getting it, Bob.
Back up.
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 Back up, Batty.
Back up, Batty.
Hey, Beck, let's go,
Hey,
dude.
Beck. Hey, there is no Beck tonight. You should go home. Beck is talking to a real man.
After Blade caught Beck cheating with Chicken Andy, he seemed to disappear for a while, vanishing from streams and social media as the drama exploded online. People who followed the saga wondered whether Blade was spiraling even deeper, or if the chaos...
She's bringing the lack. She's going to stay with me for a little bit, and then she's dipping off with family to try to make sure that her family is good, and then we'll go from there.
Hello. Hi, Blade. What's going on with you? I got Beck's apology, but like it's just weird because I can't really talk. But I don't know. I just wanted to see how you're processing everything.
I'm processing it. It is what it is, but we'll be good though. So.
You guys are gonna work it out.
We already got a did, so.
That's cool. So you're already over it.
Yeah, because like I would be hypocrite because I've done some stuff.
Yeah.
Like drunk. Honestly, Beck should have left me a long time ago for some of the shit I did, but we love each other, so like I don't wish it didn't happen, but
yeah.
You know, they didn't like fuck or anything bad.
I don't know what they did because they walked off away with each other at one point. Like away from the RV, like they're like in front of the RV and they come back, but maybe she doesn't remember.
Blade, sounding exhausted and defeated, told her they were trying to figure things out, hinting at the messy situation with Beck. Meanwhile, Keemstar also got involved, reaching out to Beck directly. In a conversation with Keem, Beck confessed that she had indeed kissed Chicken Andy, confirming what everyone had witnessed on stream.
Chicken came up to me and kissed me, but nothing else happened.
Wait a minute, you kissed another man? Did you kiss another man?
He kissed me and I kissed him. Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds like cheating.
After that, the relationship between Blade and Beck turned into a chaotic, uncertain mess. They stayed together for a while, but things were tense and awkward, often spilling out in bits and pieces during Blade's streams. Eventually, Blade posted a video explaining that Beck had broken up with him.
She's bringing the lack. She's going to stay with me for a little bit, and then she's dipping off with family to try to make sure that her family is good, and then we'll go from there.
We mean, if there's ever been a person who seems to embody everything that can possibly go wrong in a single life, it's Blade, because his show truly never ends. Not long after the explosive drama of Beck's cheating scandal and the chaotic RV7 crossover, Blade went on to crash his RV into a pole around December 2022.
And Blade actually made a video explaining how it happened.
I did see some cars and they kind of went past me, but I rolled back and I basically just tried to roll back into the side of the road. And when I did that, I uprooted a electric pole, a light pole.
So now, with no RV left to stream from, Blade decided to get himself a house in early 2023. But before you get any happy for him, let us warn you. This quickly spiraled into one of the most absurd sagas of his life. Instead of turning over a new leaf, Blade turned his new home into a non-stop drunk streaming house. Day after day, he sat on camera chugging alcohol, barely coherent, while inviting a revolving door of IP2 streamers into his space. Many of these people were themselves deep into drugs, alcohol, or just plain chaos, crackheads and addicts doing bizarre, reckless stunts for the camera.
The streams became almost unbearable to watch. Viewers could practically see Blade killing himself slowly on camera, his health visibly declining with each passing week, but it wasn't just Blade in danger anymore. Things turned deadly serious when people started to realize that real lives were at risk because of his antics. Between the drugs, fights, and unpredictable behavior, his house became a powder keg, a place where at any moment things could explode into violence or tragedy.
And soon enough, people's worst fears came to reality.
At some point after Blade bought the house, he crossed paths with one of his dedicated fans, a man named Willie Two Guns.
Willie was more than just a random viewer. He'd been following Blade for years, popping up in chats and communities devoted to IP2 and Blade's chaotic streams. Interestingly, there's another bizarre twist to this story. Willie was also Beck's ex, a weird little detail that just adds another layer of soap opera absurdity to Blade's world.
Eventually, Willie Two Guns was invited over to Blade's house, eager to be part of the drunken streaming scene. But there was a massive problem lurking under the surface. Willie had been diagnosed with severe congestive heart problems. His doctors had explicitly told him to take it easy and avoid stress, exertion, and certainly alcohol.
I have congestive heart failure.
Yeah, he's like feeling
My cardiologist says don't do anything but rest and relax.
Yet, despite the medical warnings, Willie decided to do something incredibly dangerous. Not only did he start drinking heavily during his visit, but he also mixed his medication with copious amounts of Crown Royal, putting himself at grave risk.
Anonymous sent $21. Let's do it, Willie.
21. Add 2 more. All right. Add 2 more. Okay, I got it. Thank you, bro. Let's go for it. Like, what the? That's like a whole cup of Crown Royal.
And when you do something like that, there are always consequences. Willie eventually passed out while standing, his body slumped at a weird, unnatural angle. To the horror of everyone watching, nobody in the house bothered to help him. Instead, people just kept streaming, barely reacting as Willie's life was potentially hanging in the balance.
Listen, hey, you good? We need to get him. Hey, we need to get him laid down before he falls. He's gonna fall down and really hurt himself. He's fine. All right, fine.
There you go.
You say he's fine? It's on you if he falls and breaks his face.
He's the one that wants to stand there.
Well, I'm trying to get him to. He's passing out, dude. He's drunk.
And then, what everybody feared finally happened. Willie was never moved over to the couch, and he ended up falling and hitting his head hard on the floor before knocking himself out cold.
He needs to lay the down. Yeah, you're right. He's not even awake, so he doesn't want anything. I told you.
He lay there passed out for a long time, completely unresponsive. Yet even in that terrifying moment, nobody in the house took it seriously. Instead, they painted his face and kept streaming, treating the situation like some twisted joke. Eventually, the chaos escalated to the point that the cops were called, and Willie was rushed to the hospital. It was a chilling reminder that in Blade's house, life and death emergencies were just more content for the stream.
I just hope he's okay. That's the main thing.
I'm trying to roll a cigarette with one hand and it's pissing me.
Oh my God. Okay, dude.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
From the red from the cheeks to the nose.
To be honest, the whole situation was beyond messed up. Here was a man with serious heart problems, collapsing and hitting his head, lying unconscious on the floor, and instead of anyone helping him or calling for medical help right away, people laughed, painted his face, and kept the cameras rolling. It showed just how deeply twisted things had become in Blade's world, where human suffering was treated like entertainment, and real emergencies were just another spectacle for views. It was a stark, disturbing reminder that the line between content and cruelty had long since vanished, leaving behind a toxic circus where people's lives and health meant nothing.
In the days following the stream, viewers kept flooding Blade's chat, asking what had happened to Willie and whether he was okay. For a while, Blade didn't say much, leaving people worried and speculating. Eventually, he addressed it on stream, revealing that Willie had been in a coma for a while and had eventually passed away.
2 days ago, Beck found out that Willie actually passed on either the 8th or the 7th. Basically 2 weeks ago. So, it's been confirmed. Willie's no longer with us.
Honestly, it was a tragic outcome, and at least to many watching, a deeply sad and irresponsible way for someone to go. Yet, in the same stream where he gave this heartbreaking update, Blade couldn't stay focused. He ended up getting drunk again and rambled on, insisting that he didn't kill Willie and launching into a mess of other excuses and random comments.
What's going on with Will?
No, Willie
What's going
died.
on with that? Willie, can we get an update?
No,
Can we
Willie
get a
died,
Willie
dude.
update, champ?
Willie
We'll
died,
update
dude.
Willie.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't kill him, but that Willie died. That Willie died, and I'll take you with me in my dreams.
We mean this guy has no tact at all.
And if the way he talking here in this video is not bad enough, we also came across this video of Blade and his now ex-girlfriend Beck talking about Willie that will leave you feeling really disgusted at the two of them.
Well, he probably will. He will, dude. He'll probably work. He's such a nice guy. He's gonna be lit. Honestly, he's a nice guy. Boom. Fire sales.
You know what? He's never getting lit again. What he's doing.
Oh, look at that dark rap. Shut down your party, dude. What? You not gonna want to party, dude?
No.
You know he's built to party, right? He's built to party.
Really? That's why.
No.
He don't need to be doing that. That's why he's in the hospital.
I've been in the hospital.
At this point, we don't even know what to say. These people are just horrible.
However, maybe it was his guilty conscience talking, or maybe Blade genuinely felt bad about what happened to Willie, and finally wanted to hold himself accountable. For a while, he actually quit drinking and switched his streams back to playing video games. But, as always, it didn't last long. By now, everyone knows the pattern. Every time Blade tries to quit, it's just the same cycle repeating itself. And to be honest, his viewers weren't exactly helpful either.
The whole world could see that this man probably needed real therapy and proper rehab to conquer his alcohol addiction. But no one, especially not his audience, seriously pushed him in that direction. Instead, these people were basically paying him to kill himself on livestream, egging him on with donations to keep drinking and spiraling further. It's hard to overstate just how messed up that dynamic was.
We mean, yes, Blade was primarily responsible for his own choices and the condition he ended up in. But it's equally true that his audience fueled and enabled his decline into madness, turning his self-destruction into content for their entertainment.
In fact, one fascinating and deeply unsettling insight into the mindset of Blade's audience came from one of his regular donors, a guy known online as Big Chungus. At one point, Big Chungus was interviewed by other streamers, Smokey and Kiwi, about why he kept donating money to Blade despite knowing it was literally funding his self-destruction.
In the interview, Big Chungus admitted that part of him felt bad watching Blade drink himself into oblivion. But at the same time, he found the chaos and unpredictability of Blade's streams entertaining.
It's entertaining to be able to
control
real-time interact. You just give him $21 and he takes a triple and starts saying things that you never would say in your entire life. You know, and it's funny. My nightly routine was, you know, get Brian to do something funny, which again, I'm not a good person. I don't want to. I mean, I try to be, but I'm objectively not at this point. I mean, you know, I'm paying for somebody to hurt themselves essentially, which is disgusting.
Honestly, it was a chilling look at how Blade's audience wasn't just passive observers. They were active participants in his downfall, simultaneously horrified and addicted to the spectacle.
They constantly egged him on, throwing money at him during his drunk streams, and daring him to do reckless things like him stumbling into a Waffle House drunk or hitting up a casino while barely able to stand. And, astonishingly, Blade actually went through with it. One time, he even managed to win $900 on a slot machine, a rare moment of luck that almost made people think things might be turning around for him.
Ultra, let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
But before anyone could feel happy for him, reality came crashing back down. Soon after that incident, Blade's second YouTube account, UMB2, which had been set up by his ex-girlfriend Becky, was terminated as well.
But it wasn't just YouTube washing its hands of Blade. Even the notoriously disgraced streaming platform Kick apparently banned him after a truly horrifying incident involving a dog. Yes, once again, Blade streamed himself abusing a dog.
In love with one of your viewers, Lily. Fucking move in this place.
At this point, it's honestly hard to figure out what Blade was trying to achieve with these stunts. But one thing is certain, if even Kick is banning you, you're probably doing something really, really bad.
Also, there has been another incident involving a cat. In 2022, Blade spit on a cat that he did not own and talked about it during a drunk stream. He later apologized to the owner, who was still mad at him, but thought it would eventually blow over.
Love you.
We mean, how low can this guy even go?
After getting himself banned in November 2023, Blade made a surprising move. He flew to Seattle to live with and care for his mother. For years, she had been a stabilizing force in his life. Despite the chaos, providing financial support, housing, and emotional labor as he spiraled through alcoholism and controversy. That Thanksgiving 2022, she even appeared on his stream, visibly concerned for him when viewers bombarded her with donations and criticized her for enabling Blade despite his increasingly vile behavior.
But things took a darker turn after Blade moved in. During his stay in Seattle, his mother was hospitalized due to health issues intertwined with binge eating and medication complications. Around December, she said that someone, likely Beck, Blade's ex, had stolen some of her prescription pills, along with a few patches, whatever those are.
Patches or pills or anything, right?
I don't know if she stole my patch. I think she did.
Oh my god, what?
She did not steal my pills. She stole my patch.
This accusation sparked a tense live, with Blade and his mother trading barbs. She accused him of allowing toxic people into her home and failing to keep her safe, while Blade attacked her character, going so far as to call her a side.
The fight escalated quickly. Blade's mother declared she would no longer consider him her son, labeling him a drunken, miserable, evil human being who had lost her trust and was unfit to be her caretaker.
Throughout it all, Blade never showed much remorse. Instead, he defended his actions, painted his mother as overbearing, and used the confrontation to justify his decision to stop being her caretaker.
My mom doesn't want me to come up to Seattle, be her caregiver, even though we made plans for it. She's not a fan of me drinking. She called the state to not hire me to be her caregiver. She doesn't want anything to do with me.
After the fallout with his mother, Blade spiraled even further. At one point during the same stream, he got $250 donation, which prompted him to take a quadruple shot of alcohol, and then accept a dare to go to a Waffle House while barely able to stand. And he actually did it.
By this stage, Blade had become nothing more than a jester for his viewers, someone people could manipulate into doing practically anything if they threw enough money his way. It was incredibly sad to witness, especially considering that he was once a respected gaming creator who'd made a name for himself with skill and personality. But Blade hadn't been that person for a long time. Now he seemed to have accepted his role as a sideshow, living for the donations and the fleeting moments of attention, even as his health, reputation, and dignity continued to crumble around him.
But then after years of burning bridges and cycling through chaos, Blade eventually crossed paths with Scary Terry, a figure who would become part of one of the stranger chapters in his IRL streaming life.
For those of you who don't know, Scary Terry is an IRL streamer and minor IP2 figure himself who'd gained notoriety for his unpredictable personality and willingness to let controversial streamers like Blade stay at his home for content.
By late 2023, Blade's life was in absolute shambles, banned from multiple platforms, alienated from his mother, and effectively homeless after his streaming house fell apart under the weight of police calls, drugged-out guests, and neighborhood complaints. It was around this time that he linked up with Scary Terry. Terry, seeing both an opportunity for content, offered Blade a place to stay. For a brief window, it seemed like Blade might have a shot at some stability, or at least a roof over his head.
But nothing stays peaceful in Blade's world for long. While living at Terry's place, Blade continued his usual patterns, drinking heavily, slurring through streams, and attracting drama wherever he went.
The real blow-up came when Blade doxed Terry's address live on stream, Whether intentional or just another consequence of drunken rambling, Blade revealed personal details about where Terry lived, opening the door for trolls and swatters to harass Terry's household. Once the address was out there, Terry had no choice but to kick Blade out.
So the other night, I kind of doxed the location a little bit. Because of that, someone emailed the property. So they hit up Terry, they're like, what the f***, dude? Sent a little thing saying you're not supposed to have people that aren't on lease staying here. What the f***? Yeah, so I had to clean up. I FaceTimed Terry, everything's good. We left on good terms, but
After leaving Scary Terry's place, Blade was effectively homeless, drifting from one temporary spot to another. Without a stable home base for his IRL drunk streaming, he bounced between hotels and motels, continuing to broadcast his chaotic lifestyle online.
But Blade's heavy drinking and increasingly unhinged behaviors kept getting him into trouble wherever he stayed.
One of the most infamous incidents happened during a stream from a motel room. Extremely drunk, Blade began yelling loudly and repeatedly, shouting racial slurs, including the N-word. His outbursts were so disruptive that other motel guests bombarded the front desk with complaints.
The motel management was forced to intervene and went to Blade's room, demanding that he leave the premises. The entire exchange was captured live on stream, showing Blade barely coherent, refusing to comply with the manager's requests.
Eventually, Blade practically passed out on stream, unable to function or leave on his own. This motel debacle became one of the many examples of how Blade's drinking and self-destructive choices spiraled further out of control.
After the motel fiasco, Blade disappeared from the streaming scene for a while. When he eventually resurfaced, he was with another man known online as Orange.
So
call my landlord.
Yeah. It is literally his place.
I have the deed, motherfucker.
He literally offered me that I could stay here for as long. He's literally on top of a mountain. I'm amazed that you have cell service out here, but it's obviously working. No neighbors. If we die out here, we die here. There's no saving us.
Maybe a helicopter.
Maybe a helicopter.
Very little is publicly known about Orange's real identity or background, and most who follow Blade's story say that's probably for the best. From what we know for far, Orange comes across as a deeply unpleasant and potentially dangerous person, and you will soon know why.
At some point, Blade ended up staying with Orange in a mountainous area, continuing his pattern of heavy drinking and live streaming. Their streams together were often chaotic and disturbing, showing Blade in a vulnerable and deteriorating state.
Sorry, I'm really that person.
You got this.
Yes.
Just take it slow and stay low. So if you fall, you don't fall far.
I'm gonna fall.
Well, you know, just saying.
One of the most infamous moments during this period took place on Christmas Eve. Blade drank excessively, as usual, and at some point urinated on Orange's bed.
Did you pee it last night? Did you pee the bed again?
I peed last night.
How many times did you pee it?
Let's pee it again.
Oh my god, looks like it's peed again. Oh my god.
This incident triggered a violent outburst from Orange.
On a live stream, Orange could be seen physically Blade, screaming at him, jumping on him, and preventing him from sleeping.
The head.
Yeah, you sleep with this golf ball next to your pillow, white boy? Because everyone who's white plays golf? Because that's the game of racism!
Viewers described it as a scene of torture and humiliation, with Blade unable or unwilling to fight back. Orange seemed to relish punishing Blade, leading many to consider this one of the darkest and most disturbing episodes in Blade's streaming career.
We mean, the rest of this stream is honestly just too hard to watch. It's basically Orange torturing and humiliating Blade in every way possible, yelling at him, mocking him, and treating him like he's less than human. And while we can't truly feel sorry for Blade, given everything he's done, we also can't ignore how utterly wrong and disturbing it is to see someone being degraded like that, even if he brought a lot of his problems on himself. It's one of those moments where you're left feeling conflicted, disgusted by Blade, yet equally disgusted by the spectacle unfolding on screen.
At first, when people stumbled across this stream, they didn't really know what was happening. We even found a Reddit thread where someone just as confused as we were when we first saw it asked what was going on between Blade and Orange.
This guy wrote, I saw a YouTube comment mention this incident that occurred on Christmas Eve this year between a YouTuber OnlyUseMeBlade and a streamer I cannot find called Orange. Looked it up and found this video, which is quite disturbing. seems to show a streamer trapped in an RV with an erratically behaving person who others are calling Orange. Cannot find any socials nor where this stream actually occurred. Blade gets extremely drunk, is intentionally sleep deprived, and... Does anyone know what lead up to this incident, who Orange is? The comments are almost more disturbing than the video. Everyone is fairly happy to see this guy basically getting tortured, and trying to Google only brings me previous controversies about OnlyUseMeBlade.
Oh, ignorance really is a bliss.
The comments under that post actually helped us a lot in understanding why this was happening in the first place. So we're going to read some of them out for you guys because they really shed light on the situation and the twisted dynamics at play.
One user wrote, "He is regularly antagonized by the people around him because they know he has to take it. Orange is an alleged meth addict and they were both wasted. And since the incident, it seems like Blade has escaped the property and is somewhere in Washington state."
While another user said, "He does tend to ramp things up once he's in the spotlight for any reason. After getting a feature of some sort of Lolcow podcast, he had been streaming more regularly. But yes, that's just how his life is now. He believes he has no other options other than doing those sorts of humiliation streams, no matter how many times they make his life miserable, so he keeps doing them."
So it seems like after the violent and very disturbing fallout with Orange, Blade somehow managed to escape that dangerous situation and ended up staying at a woman's house known online as Sheepdog. She was reportedly one of his longtime moderators, and for reasons that still baffle many, she allowed Blade to move in with her.
This is Sheepdog. She's awesome. Boom. And possibly her new roommate. And I'll show you the digs. I'll show you what we bought to cook. Show you what we got to drink.
At this point, it's hard to understand why anyone would continue to take him in, given how destructive, volatile, and frankly exhausting he had become. By then, Blade wasn't just a washed-up streamer. He was a walking liability, drunk around the clock, barely functioning, and known for causing chaos wherever he went.
The most likely explanation, according to us, is money and exploitation.
The truth is that despite the wreckage, Blade's streams were still bringing in donations. And it's widely speculated that the people around him were taking advantage of his inability to manage finances. Blade, seemingly operating with no sense of awareness or accountability, would trade his dignity for a pack of Jaeger and a place to pass out.
While we can't confirm exactly what kind of arrangement was going on, it's difficult to believe that anyone was housing him out of pure goodwill. There had to be something in it for them, whether it was money, clout, or just the twisted thrill of being part of the circus.
Whatever the case, it was clear that Blade's life had turned into a bleak performance, a man being slowly destroyed, while others stood by and let it happen, as long as the cameras were rolling.
Anyways, coming back to the topic, during his time staying with Sheepdog, Blade continued to show the same horrible behavior that had driven so many people away from him before. Blade spent the few initial days being completely wasted and drunk at Sheepdog's house.
However, to absolutely no one's surprise, he quickly became verbally and toward her as well. He reportedly threw sandwiches at her, screamed insults, and even threatened violence, including rape.
I didn't have mayonnaise. Do you want me to heat it up, though?
Goddamn right. I want to heat up.
Oh!
If you had tits, I'd you. You're welcome, baby. You're a flat-chested and I hate you.
Tragically, this wasn't some isolated outburst. By this stage in Blade's life, it had become a consistent and deeply troubling pattern. He simply could not interact with women without eventually turning the conversation into vile sexual threats or harassment. Even though he can barely stand upright for 2 minutes without support, his mentality is toxic and frightening.
The way he slurs through threats and twisted monologues is not only disturbing, but downright brain-rotting to witness. It's a tragic portrait of a man who has spiraled so far out of control that he's become a hazard to both himself and everyone in his orbit.
Sadly, or should we say fortunately, Blade couldn't stay at Sheepdog's place for long. His location was inevitably doxed by himself, exposing Sheepdog and her family to danger from people harassing them online or showing up in person. So once again, Blade had to leave and fend for himself.
And what did he do next? Exactly what everyone expected.
He checked into another motel, and the same pattern repeated itself like clockwork.
Bridget's family was doxed in high heaven. So I had to dip out of there. That's it. I wish there was more. I know I sound hell smug, but her family was doxxed like crazy, dude.
He told his viewers during a live stream from this motel that he had accidentally doxed Sheepdog's location and ended up getting kicked out. At this point, it's honestly hard to understand how someone can repeatedly make the same mistake. How dumb do you have to be to keep blowing up every opportunity you get not to be homeless? And guess what? He did it again. People figured out which motel he was staying in and started calling the front desk nonstop. The harassment got so bad that the management eventually had to ask him to leave.
And dude, bad news. I still have to ask you to leave.
Alright. What's fine?
I'm so sorry, man.
Was it more calls or?
Yeah, we're still getting calls. My manager's like, at this point, she feels like either way.
Give me 20 minutes, I'll be out here.
Thanks.
After this interaction, Blade had no choice but to leave. He packed up his things, including of course his booze, and started motel hopping, moving from one cheap room to another. That's where the real drama began, as he started downing one shot of Jaeger after another, spiraling deeper into his usual cycle of drunken chaos and self-destruction.
Eventually, Blade got irrational and belligerent, started screaming racial slurs, and caused enough chaos that the motel guests and staff were forced to complain.
The front desk demanded that he leave, but Blade simply couldn't or wouldn't comply. By this point, he was so physically that he wasn't even capable of leaving on his own.
The front desk, you need to come to the door right now.
Maybe you should shut up.
Sir, you need to leave.
Blade was so wasted that he couldn't understand a single thing that was going on. He eventually just passed out right there in front of the stream. It all got so bad that the cops were called, and once they arrived, they shut everything down.
Hey, can you talk to us, Brian? I can't see his hands. Hey, Brian! Can you come talk to us? Lumber County Sheriff's Office. We want to make sure you're okay. Hey, Brian! Hey, can you face me?
Anonymous donated $4. 400 years of not okay.
Hey, Brian.
He was admitted to a hospital, where he ended up spending his new year recovering from what he'd done to himself. Once he was well enough, he went back to Sheepdog's house and started streaming again, this time on Kick, as though nothing had ever happened.
As of 2025, Blade is still stuck in the same destructive cycle that's followed him for years. Despite moments where he claimed he was sober or trying to turn things around, he's back to streaming himself drinking heavily, often downing shots of Jaeger on camera while slurring his words. His health has continued to decline, and viewers frequently comment on how frail and sickly he looks, but that hasn't stopped him from chasing donations through chaotic, alcohol-fueled streams. He's been banned from multiple platforms like YouTube, Kick, and reportedly even Rumble, so he keeps hopping between smaller streaming sites wherever he's allowed to broadcast. While he occasionally talks about wanting to go back to gaming content or get sober for good, it never seems to last. Blade in 2025 remains a tragic figure, a once popular content creator now trapped in a cycle of addiction, controversy, and public self-destruction, with an audience that's both fueling and feeding off his downfall.
In the end, Blade's story is a stark reminder of how fame, addiction, and the internet can collide in the worst possible ways. From a talented gaming creator to a man live streaming his own decline, his journey has been messy, tragic, and at times horrifying to watch.
It makes you wonder, at what point do viewers become complicit in someone's self-destruction? How much responsibility do we, as an audience, carry for encouraging the very content that's killing its creator? And can someone like Blade ever truly find a way back, or is it already too late?
On this note, we'd like to end this video. If you've stayed with us this far, don't hesitate to like the video and give it a thumbs up. Also, share your thoughts in the comments down below. We'd love to hear what you think.